What's up? What am I late or something? I said 4 o'clock. What's going on here? Why am I late? I said 4 o'clock. What? What? Pink hand waving. Why does it type that stuff out now? Sup by Meffers, Tim Harper, New Normal, Charlie. What's up? Brandon Mitchell. What's up? What's up? Len Cop. I'm right here, man. I gotta figure out how to get Liberty Freak in here. Liberty Freak, 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 Freak. 7 days a week, week. Okay. Invite. Everyone can see me now, right? Volume, everything's good. Microphone good. Wolverine, the Wolf. What's up, man? Jay Tucker, what up? What is WFT? What up, Jeff? What up? Bill W. Okay, okay, invite. There we go. Let's do this. Let's copy this. Let's put this. Let's Gmail this. Oh, cool. Can you guys see my Gmail now? I hope not. Got him. Yeah. Send it. Okay. Cool. Did you guys see all that email I just did? Did it show all that stuff? I hope not. I hope not, Joey. You know what I mean? I just had a juice pouch to calm me down. I got another juice pouch sitting in the windowsill, doing its thing it does in the sun when you're hot outside. The Nicola, what up, Luce? How are you? Surreal, what up? Bump, bump, bump. Oh, you didn't see any of that stuff? Thank God. You tell I'm a boomer over here with my StreamYard. So, Liberty Freak, 7 days a week. See if I can get them on here. I've had good and bad luck here. Okay, so sitting in front of my computer, I emailed you. There he is. Liberty Freak. Hold on. Add to stage. Liberty Freak. Hold on. Oh, here's some echo.
What's going on, man? Can you hear me? Well, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. You look clear. Everything's nice and clear. And no, we didn't see your email.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys hear that echo?
Is there an echo?
Yeah.
Are you double playing it there?
What do you mean by that? Let's see. Settings. Audio. Echo cancellation is on.
I don't hear any echo, really.
I hear myself echo. Echo on John's side. Okay, so what do I do? Anyway, all you guys should know how to do this. I definitely don't. Bear with me, Aberdeen.
Sure. No, it's all right. I go through the same thing with this thing. I need to get somebody on the screen like this just to mess around with it, right? Just to learn all the. Now you're mute.
Mute, you hear nothing. When I put it back on, you can hear me echo. Maybe if I mute. How about now? Is there an echo?
Don't.
Was there an echo that time?
I don't hear an echo. Gotta watch the trolls sometimes, right?
So, man, I don't know. Let me leave studio and then maybe come back.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the John Felak Show.
Damn, that echo's gonna drive me nuts.
It only you can hear it because I'm not hearing it.
Hey, people in the comments, can you hear that echo? Because if it's just me, I'll go with it. No one's answering. Yes, what? Yes. You can hear it echo? Yes, okay. I gotta do something about that, man.
Guess I'm not listening to it on anything else. I'm on StreamYard, right? So
You don't have a second thing on?
a second what? I don't have anything. See, but that's why I always use these with StreamYards, right? This is what beats the echo right here.
This sucks, man, because this never happened before. I just say remove. Huh. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Maybe it's the background. I don't know. See, I don't hear an echo now. Log yourself out of StreamYard Studio and then log yourself back in. If you want, you can put your guests. You can put your guests back down in the basement. But if you trust them, keep them up. Abity, I'm gonna do that, dude. So
I don't hear you. I don't hear no echo whatsoever. It sounds beautiful. It's clear to
now
me.
that I'm
Here,
talking to you, I do hear an echo. So I'm gonna log out. Everybody, this is Abity. This is Liberty Freak. He's the man. He's been around forever. Bear with me. Tell him about yourself. Tell him what's going on. I'll be right back. Bye.
if he can do it, if I stay on, then hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the John Felak Show. We're here going to be talking a little bit about court issues and other malarkey. I guess I don't know. As you guys, excuse my background, right? It's kind of crazy. I should have a nice living room like John does, right? Let's try something. Everybody always has the same background. Have you ever noticed that? I got to download some. So I think I'll go with the community living room. How's that?
Hello.
Hi.
Still damn echo, man.
Well, just plug one ear.
So what do we do here, man?
Man, I don't know. It's your show.
I don't know either.
Me, you know, my
This
time is good.
horrible.
Whatever you need. I'm trying to tell you, I've had that same situation. Don't you have a set of these?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I
Well,
got
the microphone.
Bluetooth, but I don't know.
Bluetooth.
Dude, I hate to make everybody wait here, but give me a second.
See, it's because you see if you're using, like, for example, the camera on your, I mean the microphone on your camera, and then
I
you're
am.
using a speaker, right, to hear me, right? So
Yeah.
now that speaker's talking into your camera.
So
You see what I'm saying? So it's
people
talking
are
into
saying
your
it sounds a
microphone.
little bit better now. Yes, no? Anyway, let me look for a pair of headphones. See what I can do here. I'm so sorry, man.
Oh, you're good. You can use one from your phone too. That works. All right, so we're back at the John Felak Show. Nice to have you here. I'm Liberty Freak from Liberty Freak TV, and boy, are we getting it done over here, huh? Are we getting it done? So what am I doing lately? A lot. I don't want to say because then it takes away from the show, right? So right now, I'm just gonna. I can't see the chat. I can't see anything. Right here, let me see. Let me see if I can get on my phone, and then I can talk to you guys. Well, let me see. Boom. We'll come over here. Let's go to John Felix, right? Is he even on? Oh, yeah. There we go. Bam. What's going on, everyone? Here we go. Let's mute that. Bring it down. Lackluster. What's going on, brother? One of the hardest guys on the internet right there. I mean, one of the hardest working guys on the internet, man. Oh, it's together. Wolverine Transparency, what's up? Michael Dolan, Angela K, Len Kopp, Joe Cool. Boy, I haven't seen you in a minute, Joe Cool. How you been? Charlie Cruz, KJV, Saint for Life. John's in the closet smoking granola. Oh, talk about granola. Give me a moment. Where's everybody at? James Barnes, what's going on, my patriotic brother? Nice to have you here. John Denicola, Arizona Unfiltered. I'm glad old John called me on the show. I think this guy's a superstar. Where's my stuff? Oh, I hear him coming back. I hear him coming back. Do, 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 do.
What'd I miss?
Oh, you didn't miss much at all.
Your camera's out.
Yeah, just for a moment.
Let's see here.
How many you got in here? 82. Let's get this party started, brother.
Ooh, it made a noise. Guys, please tell me what the audio sounds like. If you'd be so kind.
Yeah, if you go to your, can you hear me?
Say again.
I said, can you hear me?
I can
Yeah,
hear you.
just go to your settings on StreamYards there,
Yeah.
and it'll let you and go to audio, and then there's microphone, right? Just go to the audio part and then choose what you want to hear from.
Oh, okay.
What you want.
Oh,
It'll say headphone or something on your thing, right? And then you also want to set that.
Realtek high definite microphone.
I don't know if you have a regular PC or if you have a Apple.
Regular PC, but the webcam is what's picking up my voice.
Yeah, you can pick up your voice with your webcam, but then if you can set the hearing to your headphones and turn off your your speakers, you'll be good.
Turn off my speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Say something.
Hey, testing, 1, 2. I can still hear you though. I hear the echo because you still have a speaker on, don't you?
If I turn the speaker off, I can hear you. Right.
Can you hear me through your headphones?
No. Let me test.
Go down to your little speaker icon on your taskbar, way down on the bottom on your computer.
You hear that? You hear that?
I heard it. Go down to the little speaker and hit it, and then
All right.
choose.
Did you hear that music just then?
No, I heard something, some kind of noise for a split second.
Yeah, these are not connected to anything, man. Oh God, this hurts my feelings so bad. I can't understand why.
Well, you know what you can also do? You can also. Do you have a speaker for your phone?
You mean Bluetooth?
Yeah, because then what
Yeah.
you can do is you can watch the video through your phone, turn off the speaker on your camera there, and you see what I'm saying?
Turn
And you
off.
can do the
Okay.
audio. Yeah, do you follow what I'm saying?
So go to
So you'll
StreamYard
be
on my phone.
yeah, or go to YouTube on your phone, right?
Oh, okay.
See what
That
I'm saying?
makes sense. Ah.
There might be a
Aha.
slight delay of a few seconds, but that's okay. I can work with a delay.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So now you're saying turn these speakers off.
There might be a slight delay of a few seconds, but that's okay. I can work with a delay. Yeah, but then listen to your phone through your headphones, right?
Turn these speakers
So the only one that hears the phone is you. Yeah, but then listen to your phone through your headphones. Now I can hear
So
the
the only one
echoes.
that hears
The phone is you.
Aha.
Yeah, but then listen to your phone through your headphones. Now I can hear the phone is you.
Aha.
Yeah, but then listen to your phone through your headphones. Now I can hear the phone is you.
Aha.
Yeah, but then well, I hear quiet.
Now it's quiet. Are
There.
we now? Can you hear me at all?
Joe Cool says, "Do some donuts
There's
for
just
me
a
in the
delay.
van." And just a slight delay, I guess.
That's a long delay.
Yeah, all you have to do is you're just gonna have to set up some type of
Boy, oh boy,
headphone
oh boy. So
for listening.
let's see what people are saying. Close tabs on the computer. All right, let's try that. Let's see.
You see, you have to set the hearing portion of it on your settings to a headphone that's
What if I
connected to
can
your
just
computer.
join? Hold on.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
So now, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Yeah, now I'm not hearing anything. Now we have total silence.
How about now?
Now I can hear you clearly.
But there's still a fucking echo. That's unreal.
Again, like I said, yeah.
Please. I don't know what to do.
What
I'm gonna
whenever,
start this whole stream
bro,
over.
if you want to start it over now, later, tomorrow, I could care less. You can
I want to do
contact
it now, man.
you can contact me whenever, whatever. I can wait. I have no problem. If you want to cut off and try
I'm
to
gonna
figure it
start it
out and then
all the
call
way
me and tell me,
down.
okay. But I can like, I'm telling you, I can tell you how to get through it. I've already been through this issue, right? Excuse me.
So
You have to choose. You have to
let's
choose.
put him on. See what he says.
You have to choose on your computer itself
Let's see.
your
Ex
speaker.
Bootlicker, you there?
Yeah, John.
Ex bootlicker.
You see everyone's icon in the basement? There's 3 dots there. Click on Liberty Freaks and make sure that his echo cancellation is off.
Yeah.
3 dots. It's off. I mean, you had it there for a little bit where we could deal with it. And then you put the headphones on.
Cancellation is on.
It's on. Everyone's is on. Mine's on. Auto volume control. I'm letting StreamYard control that. Are you listening to the YouTube side? Why is there such a delay?
All I hear is
You need
echo,
to be
man.
listening to the StreamYard side.
This is horrible.
All YouTube should be muted.
I'm starting this whole thing over.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, stay on the StreamYard side and just mute the YouTube side.
Starting over.
Bye, everybody.
I'll send you another link.
Boom, I'm here. Hit it.
Go ahead.
Real quick, like he was saying, those 3 dots. I think.
Go ahead.
I think if you do that to yours and his and mine, am I echoing to you right now?
No.
Okay, good, because I went in and turned mine off before I come in. So tell Liberty Freak when he comes up to turn the echo off in the 3 dots down there, and anybody else that you have.
You're like coming in crystal clear. All you did was shut off what?
I went down to the 3 dots and did exactly what old boy told you to do. Ex bootlicker. You go to the echo cancellation and you uncheck that. All right, and then you X out. It's just that simple. I mean, I did it. And you're coming in crystal clear right now.
All right, he's back. Hold on.
So I think
I'm clumped right now.
Okay. I didn't hear you.
Hold up.
All right.
You heard that, Abadi? Yo.
Yeah.
I still hear echo on his side. Did you hear what he said about turning off, hitting the 3 dots and turning off echo cancellation?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. To turn it off, you said?
Yeah, just hit that where it says where it's checked, uncheck it.
Okay, it was unchecked.
Okay, then check it then.
Oh.
Either way, it'll make a change. It sounds like you have YouTube on in the background. Do you have YouTube on in the background?
Yeah, I just did right now. Yeah, because I was
all right, mute that.
Yeah, it's already done.
Audio. I'm still hearing See, whatever it is, it's on you, because if he drops you down, we're not going to hear the echo.
You're not here. There's nothing else open. Oh, I know. No, that can't be it either.
I'm blue, abba-dee, abba-doo. Got some
All right.
sound in the blue,
Do me a
abba.
favor. Put him down in the basement for a second. I'm going to show you right now. Put Liberty Freak down in the basement for 1 second.
That means
All right. You see that? There's your evidence. I'm coming in crystal clear to you. Now talk to me.
because just kidding. I
Clear,
did.
clear as a bell. So
did that.
whatever system he's using, all right. I don't know if he's using. Some people like to come up.
Come back up.
All right, go ahead.
I think I fixed it.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
All
I
right,
think-
Wolvie, thank you, man.
All right, see ya.
Bless
Wow. Sorry about all that.
you. Thank you, man.
Man,
Yeah,
what
but-
an issue.
That's all right, man. Tension, drama. 100 people here now watching us goof around like two boomers.
It's funny because the boomers were my parents.
Mine
I'm
too.
an Xer. Seriously, I'm a Gen Xer.
We're probably around the same age, man.
I'm 54.
47. Huh?
I'm 54.
All right, so we're talking on the phone. Where are you from originally?
I am from Miami, Florida originally. 305. 305. Born and raised in Miami, Florida. Yep.
What was that you just did?
305.
Oh, 305?
305. Hold on. We have somebody knocking because
Go ahead, man. Probably a technician telling us how to fix it.
oh, no, I'm dropping everything. I'm on the stream. Hold on.
Get a warrant.
Open. All right, now back to business. What's the deal?
Dude, are you like in the Spaceballs or what? What's going on?
Well, this is my home, right? This is my 1996 FedEx step van. We have some guy that's always on a screen, but he can't keep away from my screen, even though he's always on this thing, right?
Is that Joe?
Yeah, Joe Cool.
What up, Joe? Joe Cool.
And then, yeah, this is
all the issues were done.
a seat behind me. It's full of stuff, so I put a comforter there so it can cover up because I'm pretty busy on it, right? I've been installing a brand new split unit AC on here, and I just added a secondary biodiesel tank, a 70-gallon biodiesel tank to it. Yeah, that's a lot of free fuel.
That's in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So you started out in Miami, the 305. From Miami?
Mm-hmm.
How long did you live there?
Born and raised, and then on and off. I joined the military from there, and then I've been back a few. No, I joined the military. I think it was like 19 or 20.
Which
when
branch?
United States Navy.
Why the Navy? Why'd you pick
I was
the Navy?
at the time, you know, my daughter's mother at the time had her cousin, her old man that she married. He had joined the Navy, right? So he gave me a lot of pointers on what to ask for and things when I went to the recruiter. And you know, I was just like fresh out of high school, baby on the way kind of thing, and you know, I didn't have anywhere to go, right? I didn't have any real schooling of anything, so I thought military was the best. And I joined, and it pretty much did change my life a bunch.
How many years in the Navy?
About 3.
Where'd you go while you were in the Navy?
Nowhere. Most of the time, my boat, the United States, it was called the USS Yellowstone, and it was in a dry dock. The only place I was able to go was Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, because that's where you go to test all your ships and all that kind of stuff, right?
Where'd you spend most of your time?
In the Navy?
Yeah.
If I wasn't working on the ship, I got an apartment off ship, and you know, I didn't like to live on the ship, so.
But you
Yeah,
can live on the ship?
Oh yeah, you can live on the ship. That's the best way to do it, right? You get to save all your money that way. But then if you want some privacy, right? It's kind of rough when you're always like in everybody's face all day in the Navy, right? So it's nice to have your own place and get away, just like it's my place, you know. So I did that. I wasn't really into it, right? I wasn't into structure as much. I was always getting in trouble in the military. Uh,
The bulk of your time in the Navy's maintaining the USS what?
USS Yellowstone. I worked in the engine room. I
Uh-huh.
was I was in charge. We were in charge of the propeller prop, the generators that produced the electricity and everything for the ship. So there's a lot of dial reading, right? And temperatures and pressures and things like that. A lot of oil. Um, we were on the other we were on the other side of the boiler techs, which in the old days those were the guys who were shoveling coal into the fire. Well, they don't shovel coal anymore. It was done by steam, uh, and now I'm sure it's way more advanced than when I was in.
When you say it changed your life, what do you mean by that? In what way?
I really didn't have any structure. I was just a young kid, young, dumb, stupid, and uh, and the military teaches you to walk upright. It teaches you to be responsible for things, right? It gives you a little bit of structure in the way you do things, right? Being more organized and I don't know, it makes you grow up quicker, right? Uh, and I kind of appreciated that from the military. I love the uniform. I was a real big freak on my uniform, so I was always like getting A pluses on all my inspections. But I didn't like the rules, right? I always had a problem with the rules. Or some little guy coming up to me and telling me what I can and can't do. And, and then I have a pen in my hand. I will write you up, I swear. And with that little pen, right, they could ruin your life.
Like
So
naval Karen?
yeah, right, like naval Karens, right? Like they told me I couldn't have tattoos, right? It's like, what? I'm in the Navy. It's like that's like saying that I can't cuss in the Navy,
I thought you
right?
had to, I thought you had to get one of them anchor tattoos. Mandatory.
Oh no, what I did do was I got that tattoo here on my hand, right? Because it showed even outside of my uniform. Back in those days, people, even tattoo artists, they weren't really allowed to tattoo your neck or face or hands or feet, right? It was kind of like you had to go to a more seedy place. Nowadays, they'll tattoo your eyelids and your eyeballs, if you ask for it.
It's
But
actually true. You're not exaggerating.
no, I'm not. I'm not. I
I'm
had to
not a
go.
fan of face and neck tattoos myself.
I had to go like four or
They
five
scream the
places.
dread. Huh?
I had to go like 4 or 5 places at that time looking for somebody that would do it on my hand, right? And then I was like, I got to one guy, and he had these long braids, like Willie Nelson, right? I was like, look, man, I want that little tattoo right there. But my question is, will you put it on my hand? And he said, well, I'll put it on your dick if you pay me. And I was like, oh, so I was like, whoa, you're the dude. You're the one. Just have a seat. And like,
Take my money.
yeah, exactly. And that was like a Wednesday. And then I had an inspection on that Friday, right? So there I was with my fresh tattoo on my hand, right? To kind of say, this is my body and you can't tell me what I can or can't put on it, right? So that was, I was young and, rebellious and things. So that was just the
So how
thing.
many years in the Navy?
3.
So what? So you get out the Navy. When you start getting like, I don't. You're like an activist mode. Before the Navy, during. What did you see? What did you experience to get you to where you basically become an activist?
I experienced a lot of activism all of my life
Okay.
because my mother comes from most of my family's from Cuba. So my mother was anti-Castro when before he came into power, right? So she was Cuban in Cuba at the time when this whole revolution thing was going on, right? And Castro was about to come in, and just before he came in, she moved to America, and then she spent most of her life like to be able to bring the rest of my family in, right? So my mother was like saving money for a boat, ammunition, weaponry, mercenaries, right? Yeah, she didn't get my grandma out, right? Family's a big deal and there, and
Like literally take a boat
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
lethal defense and
With
go pick up a family member off the shores of
with machine guns, 3 mercenaries. The boat was taken away in Nassau, Bahamas, prior to just before it was going to reload there, and then it was going to go, and they were going to get like all kinds of stuff to load up to before they left, and that's where the boat stayed. Right, they got busted with weapons and things, but my mom tried it again twice during the Mario boat lift. Right, we bought a boat while it was there, and my father had gone. My father's not a Cuban. My father was Puerto Rican, so he went to save my mother's family, right, with some other a captain and all that kind of stuff. 33-foot boat, and they went to Cuba. And while he was there, the law changed. They said now it's illegal to bring them back, even though Jimmy Carter said it's okay. Once everybody was already there for a certain amount of time, it all changed. Now you were a criminal for coming back with people. It was weird. So my dad, got caught with all that. They put a big sticker on our boat that was orange, and it was made out of some NASA type paper. That thing would last. You had to keep the sticker on that boat until the weather eliminated it. Right? You weren't allowed to scrape it off or nothing. That was kind of like the punishment. And so my parents got another boat, and they tried it again, and they got busted again. And that one got taken away by the government. So you see, I grew up that way, right? A lot of really risking life, limb, and your future.
Is there any? Did they accomplish it? Did they get everybody over?
Actually, when my father went over the first time, he got one cousin out of 33 people that he was made to put on the boat. See, because people don't understand what happened was Jimmy Carter had said, "Hey, you think that you can let the, these folks have their family?" And Castro was like, "Sure, absolutely. What a great idea, Jimmy. We'll do just that." And as soon as he hung up the phone, he goes, "All right, I need you to empty all the prisons, all the psycho wards. I want the top notch out of here," right? So what did he do? He emptied all of his prisons, his psycho wards, his everything that he didn't want. You had to take them first if you wanted any of your family. You see, so that's where all the, a lot of crime during that time when it came over. That was why, right? Imagine if we were allowed to empty all of our prisons and send them to another country. You see, and they were coming over here like, woo! At that time, there was no television, so the people that were coming over here were hearing stories like, "Did you know that in America, people throw money out the windows of their cars? You can literally pick up money and gold off the sides of the streets in America." That's right. Everybody drives any car you want because they didn't have a television, right? It's like almost, it was like a mini version of North Korea. So it was whatever they could. It was like whatever they thought and imagined. Now they have internet, right? They have all that kind of stuff and social media that they've been able to access. But back then, you got to hear the Beatles because somebody black marketed a Beatles album in there, right? That was the only way you got any in touch to the outside world, or whatever people would tell you, right? People that were visiting or whatever, the stories that they would tell you.
If we were back in the day and I said to you, "Listen, man, we're going to be talking through a computer side by side," the worst thing we'd have to worry about is some echo. We'd be like, "Get the hell out of here."
No kidding. You watched the movie Blade Runner? My uncle was the construction coordinator on that movie, Blade Runner, and they communicated via little video phones. That was like, whoa. When you saw that movie, I was like, whoa. You imagine that?
Granted.
Yeah, you imagine that. Now people don't even want to talk on video phone, right? You're like, "Why didn't you duel me?" "Oh, no.
Just text me.
Yeah, just text me," right? Yeah, but we have what is that called? Whatever, like we can communicate via video, FaceTime and all that.
Yeah.
People are like, nah.
My mom likes to do that. I don't know. It's weird sometimes because then you're like, "Yeah, Mom, I'm good. Everything's good."
Especially with Mom, she's like, "I want to see your face."
"Oh, hey, Nick. Hey."
So then, so activism has always been a part of my life, in a sense, right? Because of my family, right, and the whole. But it was really later on I started learning about like the right to travel, and then I got into like Alex Jones and things, right? And so that's kind of where it started, you know, a little bit. But I wasn't really busy. Like all of my videos were something that was going on at the moment, right? Like I saw some guys being messed with or whatever. I'd walk over there with my phone or whatever. I never really did it as an activism, kind of just like a, and and then all of a sudden, then one day, Aurora, Colorado, messed with me, and and two. No, 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 no. It was a big to do that I had. Yeah, the people, the deputies at the Aurora County Courthouse or whatever, and I was videotaping, and then the lady there, she was the one in charge of the jury commissioner. She lied and said that I chased her around the building, and you know that I was calling her a bitch and and all this kind of stuff, and I was terrifying her, and I was like, why would she say that? Does she not know that this courthouse is like full of cameras apart from my own? I mean, that was really bizarre, right? But you know, they threw me out or whatever, and then I was like, no, I have a right to go back in there, and I'm gonna go back in there. But then I said, man, but if they tase me, I'll die. And then I go, oh, how about that live stream thing? I had never live streamed ever, so I kind of quickly learned how to live stream there with my YouTube. It was Cop Block Nomad then, and I said, well, if I get tased and I die, at least I'll be one of them videos on TV where, you know, I caught the infraction, right? Like I caught that issue on my camera. But I went in there, and on the way in, I got arrested. And then 2 days later, I'm over there at the courthouse, and there was supposed to be.
What charge?
Bro, they arrested me for harassment, you know, and all kinds of stuff, right? Because the lady had said for that lady thing, you know. But then they all looked at the videos and go, "Oh, you were just lying."
Yeah.
Right. You know, and you were just lying, and I was like, and I couldn't understand because while I was in there, the day that I got arrested, I had been there for a case that happened in a traffic infraction. So now, in my first arraignment, after I get arrested for this deal, they're arraigning me on this traffic infraction, which they already did that same day that I got arrested. So I'm like, why am I being rearranged? Don't ask no questions. It's just how it, you know. And they were treating me like really crazy. Even my public defender was really ugly towards me, right? And I was like, man, what's going on here? I didn't know anything about this, right? I didn't know how all this rolled. And I was absolutely like anyone else at that time, right? I was just pissed. That's all. Pissed and confused, right? And then some guy stream sniped me when I got out, and I was doing my live stream. He stream sniped me, you know. And when you're doing a live stream, they know where you're at by your background, right? And then they'll be like, "Yo, he's over there at the McDonald's in, you know, off 27 and 3rd, you know." So they get in the car and they go catch you, right, while you're live streaming. And you know, he came over, and he was a freedom guy, and he was saying he knows there's going to be a couple people coming tomorrow or day after to kind of like give you some support. I didn't know what they were talking about, right? So I thought it was like some type of you know, a lawyer of some sort, right? So I'm thinking some guys with briefcases and stuff are going to show up, right? Yeah, just stick your finger in there. Slide your finger. No, yeah, in there. Yeah, you'll feel it. And you know, so I didn't know what to expect, right? So I'm in there, and the guy goes, "Yeah, they're on their way. So you can go ahead and go inside and do what you need to do in the courthouse, and I'll wait for them out here." I was like, "Okay." And then all of a sudden, I'm standing there in the line, and I hear this talking behind me, but it's like loud talking, right? So it's echoing all over this building, inside this room, and oh, look, oh, it's changing. Oh, wow, look at this, and blah, blah, real loud, you know. And I'm like, whoa. And I turn around, and I see this guy that looks kind of like Barney Rubble, right? He's got like these shredded jeans on the bottom, and then he's got this shirt that says on the back, F this, and of course it didn't say F, right? It said, fuck this, court, K-O-R-T, on the back of his shirt. And you could tell it was like something somebody had made themselves, right? And then and then it had a judge under it, and that judge was a giant kangaroo, right, with the whole judge's outfit and the gavel in his hand, right? And I was like, who's this guy? And I was like, and I looked and I was like, he must be Eric Brad. And he goes, and you must be Cop Block Nomad, whatever, you know. And he shook my hand, and then I was like, he's like, so what's going on? I was like, I don't know. I'm here doing this thing and I'm asking for paperwork, but they're kind of, they're treating me like the fat girl at the school dance, right? So I'm like, what's going on with this, right? And he's like, oh, really? He's like, oh, that'll change. And then all of a sudden, the same guy that arrested me came out, and Eric just totally talked to him like he was his bitch, right? Hey, Regal, haven't you learned by now? Blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, you can't record in here. And then the guy that was with Eric goes, he turns on the light on the video camera on purpose. And then he goes, what do you mean recording? He goes, here. And he turns on the light and goes, just in case you had a doubt, this way you can be absolutely sure that I'm recording you. And that was Tom, right? And he goes, and I'm thinking to myself, who are these guys, right? My jaw is now like,
Tom,
right?
wait, Tom who? Who's Tom?
God, I can't remember his last name now. Tom,
Zebra?
No. It's this guy that Eric knew, right? He's always protesting in Aurora all the time, right?
That's where you met Eric Brandt was there.
Yes. Oh, and then yeah, he was a friend of Eric's, and then he came also with a big sign, and so all of a sudden Eric starts taking me around the building. He's like, I need this, I need that, and he's like demanding it. And every office that he went to, it was the manager of that office that automatically came out, right? Oh, hi, and he's like, yeah, bam. And then all of a sudden I said, hey, I don't have any money for any of this. He goes, don't worry about it, I'm paying for all of it. He goes, all I need is a copy of it. Right, so he took, and he gave me, I left out of there with a stack of papers, like everything I needed, right? Oh yeah, he was barefoot, all right. And then he had like neon green hair.
What year was that?
I don't want to say that's 2018. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 2018, and then we go outside, and he's like, I gotta go get my signs, right? And I'm thinking to myself, going, I got a whack job from the internet, right? Who's just gonna ruin my life, right? I was like, I didn't know what to expect, right? I was kind of like feeling really awkward, and he goes, I'm gonna go get my signs. And then he comes back with this sign that he had. You know how he's famous for his signs, right? Well, this sign had like 10 signs on it. So each one had an illustration on both sides, and then he can flip it. And he can flip, and it's another sign on the other side, and flip it again, it's another sign. And this is all on one apparatus, right? So I'm like, what's going on? Right, it's got fingers on it, and F here and there, and I'm like, and cops, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I don't want to get arrested again, right? I'm thinking to myself, he didn't get touched. And man, I was like, how'd you do that? Do you do this often? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I'd like to be there. Can I watch this again? Right? And he's like, oh yeah. He goes, maybe if I need a ride or something, I can call you, right? And lo and behold, a couple of days later, he called me, and that's when he said, I need a ride to Elbert County. And that was when he started investigating Chris Dickey, who had killed an Army Green Beret super military star, right? And
Chris Dickey, a cop?
Yeah, Chris Dickey. Yeah, he's a murderous cop. He killed that guy, and he's also known for, he got, the other famous video with Eric where he's with this other dude, and the dude starts running, and the cop runs after him, and he hits him with a taser, but he only gets him with one taser, and then the sergeant comes out and goes, hey, what are you doing? He's like, and then he just makes him look like a fool in front of the department. Well, yeah. That's Chris Dickey, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he also beat some dude almost to death that was going through a diabetic coma, right? So he was an evil cop, right? Yeah. So after that, Eric had gone to jail, and then while he was in jail for 4 months, he found out that Chris Dickey had killed somebody, and he was like, I told him this guy was going to end up killing somebody. And so we went over there, and I had no idea. All I know is that I had a van at the time, and he goes, hey, if you take me over there, he goes, I'll fill your tank up. Not only when we go, he goes, I'll fill it up when you drop me off. And I was like, oh. I was like, okay, I was going to fill up my 36-gallon tank. I'm cool with that, right? And I'm going to learn something. So, man, we went out, and that was it. From that moment on, everything else you've ever seen with me and Eric had begun. That's when the whole thing just went crazy. That's when I really got into activism, right? That's when I learned about activism and the courts and and all these great things, right?
How many times have you been to court?
Oh God, for just like activism things, I don't know, about a dozen.
That's all?
Yo, yeah, nothing compared to Eric, right? Like 200 times. No, no, no. Yeah,
And do you do everything pro se?
yes, yeah, pretty much all of them.
Now, even if you're facing time, you still go pro se?
Oh, you mean like, okay, do you mean pro se civilly or criminally? Or both? Well,
I don't know the difference really.
okay, yeah, all my lawsuits that are filed except for one, I filed myself or with Eric. Um,
All the lawsuits except for one what?
I filed myself pro se, right, in federal court, and one in state court here in Colorado.
Talking about 1983 suits?
Yes, yeah, Title 42s, yeah. Um, as far as criminally, the beginning of my cases, I always do them pro se, right? Um, for example, and by the way, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving any legal advice to anybody, right? You do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you what I do personally, okay? Um, I learned this from Eric, right? There's a whole lot to your case, and usually in our cases, it's a bullshit case, right? Like you just got one. You got a beautiful bullshit case arrest just recently yourself, right? So those are the type of arrests we get all the time, right? So normally when you get arrested, within 30 days you got to go to court. You're going to what's called your arraignment, right? That's the first time you're going to go. The court's going to, you're going to go up there. A lot of guys go up there with like, kind of sovereign citizen type stuff, right? Talk about the King's Decree of 1509 and all these other things like that, right? I learned that those really don't work much hard. It's a lot more difficult to defend that, right? So when I go in, the first thing I do is they're going to tell you you're being charged with X and X, which carries a maximum sentence of 1,000,000 years and it's and $5 billion in fines, right? All they're doing is scaring you, right, to take a plea, basically. They're going to ask me, Mr. Rosari, how do you plead? Well, my answer is every single time is, well, Your Honor, I wouldn't be able to give you an informed plea because I have no idea what you guys have against me. I would need to see the discovery first to know what decision I'm going to make, whether I'm going to fight this myself or whether I'm going to go to a public defender or whether I need, private counsel. I don't know.
Let me stop you there.
Sure.
So shouldn't you know this stuff before you make a plea deal, or not a plea, before you plead not guilty or guilty?
Correct. That's what I'm telling him, right? I was like, at first, I
made you on purpose.
Oh yeah, because they don't want this to go to trial, right? They're expecting you to plead either guilty or not guilty. Most people plead not guilty have to have a lawyer, right? They don't know what they're talking about. Most people just say, I'm guilty. Because before you went up there to make your arraignment, the prosecutor probably spoke to you and said, hey, look, you're here for this, plead guilty. I'll only give you, whatever, community service, and a fine of $10. Right? They make it sweet for you.
When you tell them this, I needed to make an informed plea. I needed basically the discovery of everything you have against me.
Yes, I want to see everything.
So what kind of response do you get to that?
Well, they have to give it to you by law, right? I mean, that legally that's as a wonderful an answer that the court can't turn down as it gets, right? You must be able to give an intelligent and informed answer, right, and be clear. I can't be clear. I might look at it and you might have nothing in the discovery. You're just bluffing me, which is always what they're doing, right? So, and then that also gives me time not to only get the discovery, but now when I go back in about 30 days that I've gotten their discovery, we're going to be like, well, Your Honor, hold on. I haven't made a plea yet because we're waiting for the body cameras, right? And all these other different things, right? So you can go on and on with this, right? We've been a year and a half, and we've never even made the first plea. We've never even said whether we're guilty or not guilty once.
They won't pull the old "I'm going to enter a plea on your behalf" BS.
That's easier to have done if you're trying to do, like I was saying, the tactics that I was speaking of earlier that I used to do but don't do anymore, right? So, when you start, there's a prosecutor, when you start doing the, under what jurisdiction did you get me, right? Does the prosecutor have any evidence that says that, that I agreed to all that kind of stuff? They're just going to go, alrighty, well, hey, I'm going to write a plea, I'm going to make a plea on your behalf, right? Because you're just jamming up the court, right? But the one that I have, normally they give you time, right? They'll be like, well, we'll give you 30 days. And then from there, you just keep going, right?
For what? To look over the discovery?
Yeah. And to obtain it.
They just immediately give you the discovery?
Oh, they have to. Yeah. So normally what they do is they say you have to go and then set up an appointment with the prosecutor's office, and they'll tell you, come on this date, blah, 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 come get it. And with us, it becomes, we don't have it yet, right? We're almost there. Sorry for the delay, and a lot of times the time will be up and I'll be like, Your Honor, they still haven't given me the discovery yet, right? So my purpose is to make them work. That's my purpose. You want to charge me on these silly things? Well, I'm going to make sure that you spend as much money as you possibly can prosecuting me.
For discovery before you make the plea, they're not going to force you to make a plea without the discovery.
Correct. Totally an appealable issue.
Until you get all the discovery they have or they claim to have, or
right.
You can keep going on and stalling, delaying, right?
Mm-hmm. So and actually, I'm not stalling. I'm going to tell you the importance of this, right? The importance of this is that, number one, you want to get as quickly as you can. Look, you get arrested, the very first thing you should do, I'm talking about, not even joking, as soon as you went out of the jail, right, you come pick me up at jail, right, and they let me out, I get in your car and be like, John, let's go to the sheriff's department right now, right? I'm going to get the charging document, I'm going to get the probable cause statement, I'm going to get the CAD, which is like the little minutes that are written by the dispatcher and the type of call that it was and all this kind of stuff, right? Everything that I can possibly obtain before it even comes on, and then I'll make a public record. I had on this day. Can you give me the body cams of these cops, right? Sometimes they make a mistake. Sometimes they tell you, well, it's under investigation, so we can't give you that information yet. But if you go there really early, if you go in there early, if you do this early, right off the rip, like right out of jail, it hasn't gone through the system yet. You see what I'm saying? So you can ask for this, and you might get it right there on the spot, right? And then later they're going to figure out, oh, damn, he already got the body cameras, right? Even though they're going to try to tell you that they can't give you the body camera. And then when you do that, what you find out later is, oh, they're cheating. Oh, the body camera that they gave you, like, for example, you'll get the body camera, and you'll have a video of 35 minutes, but they'll give you the body camera, and there's only a video of 19 minutes. You see what I'm saying? And you're like, oh no, you see, sorry, prosecution gave me this video, but I have the actual video and mine's longer, and it actually has more stuff on there that exonerates me, because of course they're going to take out the things that exonerate you, right? So then,
redact that stuff though. Can you do anything about it?
Oh yeah, when it comes to discovery, there's no redactions, right? When it comes to discovery,
you're saying outside of court, if you ask for it, they can cut half of it off, but in court in the proceedings, when you ask for the discovery, they can't redact or edit video.
Or there might be 4 videos, but they only came up with 2. You see what I'm saying?
Discovery, they got to provide all of it, or what?
All of it, right? That is according to Brady versus Maryland, right, which was a United States Supreme Court case, right? And the prosecution must present all evidence that exonerates the defendant, all of it, everything, right? You can't hide. You can't hide anything, right? But they kind of act like they'll use Brady when it's convenient for them, but then all of a sudden when you mention it, they're like, what are you talking about? Oh, that doesn't apply that way. And you're like, no, it absolutely applies that way.
Yeah, exculpatory, right?
Exculpatory evidence, correct.
So, finally, what happens finally after all that?
Well, after all that, you have to, for example, now that you're in there and there's certain things maybe that they don't want to cough up, and then you got to tell your lawyer, hey, we need a subpoena ducis tecum. Or if you're doing it yourself, you can ask the judge for a subpoena ducis tecum, which a subpoena ducis tecum is a subpoena to show up with certain material evidence, like whether it be digitally or papers or whatever, right? Records, like say for example, you subpoena whatever department, and that department has to not only produce those papers, but you're subpoenaing some type of person that works there. They can say, yes, this is our stuff. See, if you subpoena T-Mobile, there has to be a member of T-Mobile that shows up for that court that you can ask them. So does this look like a T-Mobile? Well, yes, it does. How many years have you worked for T-Mobile? You see what I'm saying? So you need a person that verifies that.
Who are you subpoenaing?
You are subpoenaing a certain something that they don't want to give up. Like say, for example, you're asking for halo cameras of the hallway, right? But they're giving, man, they come up with so many garbage reasons on why they're not going to be able to do it, right? Or why it didn't show up or something. And then now when you subpoena Deuces Tecum them for that, what it is, now they have to provide it because it's a court order.
Okay.
Right? So now they got to provide it and show up. And if they don't have it, they got to explain why they don't have it, what happened to it, who was in charge of it, right? You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. So it becomes a court record. Everything must be on the record. Don't ever talk to any attorney or anything ever on the phone if you can, right? Email. Why? Because you have a record of everything, right? Oh, I said, did you? Or I didn't say, oh, really? Right? And all of a sudden they forget about that email they sent you 4 months ago, right? And lots of public records requests, right? You gotta hit them up with a public records request and get all your information.
If you do have a lawyer, what should you forget that for now? So subpoena what'd you call it?
Subpoena Deuces, DUCES Tecum, TECUM.
Subpoena Deuces Tecum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have everything, all Brady material, all everything, all the discovery your hearts can handle.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happens?
Well, normally, the way that I do it is, by the time that's happened and you have everything, at least a year's gone by with me, right? And by that time, I've already I filed with them intent to sue, and 9 times out of 10, huh?
In the meantime.
Oh yeah, in the meantime, right? So now that we're doing this, now you can ask me a question. Now you say he's no longer plaintiff, whatever, right? He's defendant, officer so and so, right? Yeah, Your Honor, because he's defendant officer so and so, he's being sued in federal court right now for this infraction.
You mean you refer to him as that?
Oh yeah, and I make sure he remembers that he's a defendant now. I'm not the defendant. You're the defendant.
All right, so does a trial happen? What happened? All right, good talk. Talk to you later, man.
Okay. Oops, sorry. Now go ahead. I'm sorry because everybody just keeps disturbing me here. Go ahead.
Does a trial happen?
Oh yeah, 9 times out of 10 they always take me to trial, right? I mean, but I make sure that. See, because what happens is they know that I'm going to follow through. Just like Eric, right? I'm going to follow through with this, and I'm going to sue you. So now it's, make sure that we win, they win, right? So that I can't sue them, right? So they can then claim collateral estoppel, right? But when you're suing them beforehand, when you do go to trial, you can mention up things like, are you not a defendant in a civil rights lawsuit in federal court? Yes, I am. Are you? And what are you being sued for? Right? Have you been sued for this before? Right? So, you know what I mean? And you can ask these things ahead of time, right? And also you can get information from the civil suit that, because you get a lot more discovery in civil than you do in for a criminal, right? It's easier to get. So they'll produce things which might even help you with your criminal trial. You see what I'm saying? And again, I'm not a lawyer, but that's just how we battle them. And and then normally they'll give me a public defender, which is burdened with all kinds of stuff. But being that one of the biggest cases that I had here was against the public defenders of Denver, for them not providing a public defender to the poor. And I won that case. I was charged twice with harassment, and I won. I did that case while I was in jail. And so since that happened, they just automatically give me ADC, which stands for Alternative Defense Counsel, which is a private lawyer which is paid for by the city. And
Why did they give that to you?
because I had a conflict with the public defender's office.
Oh,
You see, because it was the head of the public defender's office that brought charges against me, so the same office can't defend me if they're bringing charges against me. See what I'm saying? So, and it was such a crazy case that 5 different judges recused. I had 5 different attorneys on it.
on what charge?
2 charges of harassment. They said that I went in there and scared to death the ladies behind the window. You know,
By recording on your phone and speaking?
by yelling at them, you know, because I called them bitches and because I called them this or that or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's simple to prove that it's not so. There's an overhead camera in that office, and there's one right outside the door. Well, by some strange miracle, that day, cameras weren't working in the courthouse. That was actually one of the facts that helped me win the case, right? You know, we were telling the jury, huh?
You did win the case.
Oh, I did win the case. Yeah, both charges.
Pro se?
Both. No. I had an incredible attorney. His name's Cameron Bedard, and he used to be a public defender for Arapahoe and Denver, and he was actually one that won. He won the case for Miss Karen Sodaro. The kid is off the charts, right? Like he is just like a TV lawyer. It's awesome, right? Sharp looking, well dressed, intelligent, and just, man, when we get into trial, it just feels good, right? Because you're going in there with a guy that's so good at it. And man, we killed it. We killed it. It was awesome. We won with flying colors, right?
Now, you win this case, and then how does the suit happen afterwards? The time to hold them accountable now.
I didn't sue on that one, and it's because, you know, you only have so much bandwidth, right? There's only so many you can do, right? Nobody wanted to defend me on this case. One of my attorneys, she recused from the case, and she was cool. I thought we were going to win it with her, right? And all of a sudden, she just decided she's getting off my case. But she wouldn't tell me. She just kept telling me there's a conflict. And I'm like, what's the conflict? And I got pissed, and I yelled at her, and I was like, I can't believe we gone this far, and now you're going to treat me like I'm just a customer. And then all of a sudden, she's like, because your case is career suicide, Mr. Irizarry. That's why I have to get off your case. Your case is
Which case?
this one, the one with the harassment at the public defender's office, right? Because
Suing them is career suicide.
not even suing them, just defending me against the criminal case, right? Because the one that was bringing the case against me was the head of the public defender's office of the city of Denver, Alice Norman. And then she's bringing the charges against me, and through public records, through subpoena ducis tecum, right, we were able to find out that she was contacting all of the judges. Hey, we got a problem with this guy. We got to handle this guy, right? So it's like, hold on, you're the defender, but yet you're bringing charges against the people. You're a defender of the people, but you're bringing a charge against this guy for calling you names. You see what I'm saying? And it was like, and a lot of what they were doing was they're trying to silence us, right? So, you know, it's like any case.
And the public defender doesn't even make sense.
Correct. And everybody came into it like, oh, this doesn't even make sense, right? And then when they started asking questions, they started getting scared, right? And then they were being threatened to get off my case, right? So they just wanted me to lose. This guy came in, and actually he saw my name come across his desk. You know, we have a First Amendment case, and we need somebody that can take this case. And then he saw my name, and he goes, oh my God, Abity. He goes, oh my God, that's Abity. You know, the protester with Eric and blah, blah. He was like, I'll absolutely take this case. He's like, because he knew that it was going to be a shit show, right? And and he did. And man, that guy would come to me and talk to me in jail and everything. He was just a gentleman. And man, we won that case. And now we have the second case, which I lost actually.
Hold on 1 second, Anthony.
Yeah.
Can you change the volume on your mic at all? Do you know how to do that? Can you like turn it down or something?
How about now? Is that better?
Just say yay real loud.
Yay!
It still cracks up a little bit, maybe a little further.
Yay!
Now just talk normal.
Hey, what's going on?
Okay, all right.
Is that better?
Not about that yet.
Okay.
So, go on. I'm sorry.
No. And so now we have a case that I just lost actually, and if I don't win my appeal, I'll have to do 7 days in jail here in Denver.
What charge?
This was my case that had to do with it was in front of Union Station with Kyle Shockley, Monkai 83.
Okay.
And we got arrested just for protesting and yelling and with a bullhorn. And so we were charged with trespassing and disturbing the peace, and
Trespassing and where? It's like a public mall, right?
on the sidewalk in front of in front of Union Station, the most public place in Denver.
What is Union Station?
Union Station is where the hub of trains are here, right?
Actual trains. It's not just a tour.
The actual trains, and actually it even docks Amtrak, right? Which Amtrak is a government train, right? And according to LeBron versus National Railway, right? Because they house Amtrak, that makes them subject to the First Amendment. And even if it was a private place, it is now public, right? But it was also public money which was given to them to be able to build it and restore it. So because it was public, they even had to get only American tile for the outside, right? They wanted to use like an Italian tile and have it imported, but if it's being funded by the federal government, it has to be American. So all the other rules apply. And then there's another one here called Bach versus Westminster LLC, which is some Jehovah's Witnesses which were handing out their pamphlets and things inside of a mall, right? And they were trespassed because they said that was a private place and a private establishment. But what made it public and protected their First Amendment was the fact that they housed a police station in that same mall. So if you house a police station in that private place, now that makes it in a different genre of public, right?
Really?
Yes. And that's 10th Circuit. I don't know about you. Huh?
That changes the standard.
Yeah, it changes the standard of what public is and what isn't. A lot of private property is actually public, in its use with the First Amendment, depending on the situation. So people,
after winning your first case
Mhm.
and trying to sue them, you didn't sue because it was so hard to find someone to sue them, right?
Yeah.
Is that your first case ever you had to defend?
No, see, I've learned when I first started, I was a little, people watch me to watch the train wreck. Come on, let's they watch me like they watch NASCAR for the crashes, right? A lot of people watch me just to get arrested, right? Watch me to go absolutely bonkers, on the cops, right? And do just bonkers shit on video, right? But we follow through with it too, right?
Yeah.
The guys that are hardcore, of course, they get a lot of watches, right? Guys like Direct D and all these guys, right? These guys are hardcore, right? Pigs Under Pressure, these guys bring it hard, but they also follow through, right? In the courts, right? But I've learned that no matter how much we can say it supposedly, right, and if we're protecting all that, when it comes to the courts, it totally works against you, right? No matter how much you try, whenever
Talking
you
about aggressive activism, right?
yeah, and a lot of cursing and stuff like, you can curse and all that, but when you go hardball with it, right, when you're playing that video before the jury, I'm sorry?
So it hurts their feelings for some reason. Pull the mic a little bit away too, man, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, it's just like it's kind of weird, right? Because everything's so depraved, anyways, right? People, songs, everything, it's like so gross, and yet, you say fuck a couple times, and they're like, oh no,
If
you can't say that.
To the political government parasites, yeah, it's like.
It's like,
dare it.
how dare you?
What? did you say?
Right,
They
right.
can't, they can't believe it.
And if you want to be effective in this, you know, you got to do, you know, your movements have to be effective all the way through, right? So if I'm saying no probable cause and I'm pressing the little button to wait for the permission to cross the street so I don't get a probable cause for jaywalking in my activism, right? Then why wouldn't I do this to keep it effective, right? So a lot of my videos that I watch now, I kind of cringe a little bit, and I've learned, and every case that I've lost has been because of that. They've made somehow my bold yelling with the cussing involved as scary and dangerous. You know, I mean, you know, his conduct would have put any man, you know, in
The words
fear.
you string together are violent in and of themselves. Just the sounds that you make.
Bro, you know what the biggest statement was that I lost this case that I'm telling you about that I'm appealing with Union Station? One was because Kyle said, he's like, hey guys, there's kids here. And he's like, fuck the kids, right? And then the other one is that I use Eric's line, right? And I was like, don't worry, folks. Everybody, don't be alarmed. Every one of these children here were made by fucking. They'll be quite all right. It's gonna be okay, right? So by me saying that statement, they said that statement and Kyle's statement were fighting words. That those were actually had reached the level of fighting. Yeah, right. You see, but they make us fight it all the way up, right? So now we're fighting it into the Supreme Court, and my attorney said, you know what? He's like, as a matter of fact, I'm going to try to get rid of the fighting words doctrine completely with this appeal, right?
Yeah.
And he said, and if we lose it here in the district, we're going to the U.S. Supreme Court. So, you know, he's willing, and so am I.
So that's an open case.
Yeah, and due to the details of it, it's still open in federal court. And even though Kyle lost his case, just like me, and he lost his appeal, that piece of that fraction of the claim stayed, the trespassing part, right? Since we were found not guilty on the trespassing, right, but guilty on the disturbing the peace. Now they got to prove that they had a right to trespass him and arrest him because of that, right? So, you know, he's still there, right? And that's what you want. That's what you're looking for when you're doing this, right? Put as many claims as you can when you get in that federal court. Put 23 if you can find it, right? If you can word it, put it in there. Let them take them off, right?
Now,
So you go with 13, but you only have 2. All you need is 1.
I've seen a couple of videos where you and Eric were like going to collect a check for 15 grand, 30 grand. What's that?
Yeah.
What's that about? How's that work?
Well, that was Eric won his first one by all completely pro se by himself with the city of Englewood, right? We both had an incident there or whatever, you know. I was found guilty, and then he had an incident that was prior to that had nothing to do with me, right? And that video, that guy Tom is in it. He's the one that's actually taking the video, and they arrested Eric for his sign. And then he finally did his famous. He took off his shirt because it had the F word on it. And then he's like, "Well, I guess I gotta cut my arm off because it says fuck cops here on my arm, right?" So, and then he says to the cop says something to him. He goes, "No, you're not in charge here. I'm in charge. You're not in charge." Eric tells him, and within a second he was arrested. So so he sued him and they paid him 30 grand.
For what? False arrest?
Yeah. Retaliation for speech. First Amendment retaliation. Retaliatory arrests.
There was more than just that case, though, right?
Oh yeah, he's had so many. He sued Westminster. I think he's gotten paid twice by Westminster. Westminster's paid him a total of like $100,000. Who else? Denver just finished paying him $65,000.
Right now, isn't he in jail for like how many years has he been in jail now? 2?
2? It was 3, yeah.
And he's doing a 12-year sentence.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, it's 3 4-year sentences, but they made them to be served consecutively, not concurrently.
And it's because he said something along the lines of he wished that some
Yeah, he said this.
government parasite would not be alive anymore, right?
Well, not even
There's
that.
so many words.
He just sent his thoughts and prayers, right? It was around Christmas
Right.
time. He sent his thoughts and prayers, and his thoughts were, yeah, that he should die, and his prayer is somebody would actually do it.
Is
That's
that something he said in writing? Did he say it on a video? Where did he say that?
Yeah, he called him up
On the phone.
on the phone and said his office and said, "Hi, I'd like to send my, my best wishes, my thoughts and prayers to the judge," right?
So,
But that was Eric's. He liked to go right up to the line, right? Like and legally, what he did was not illegal. Like what he said is not fighting words. It was not a threat, right? What he said is not a threat. It doesn't matter what the other person did. Like if the other person says,
technically,
"Well, I had to build a safe room, and we had security outside," and that doesn't matter, you know. But it was the fact that he pled, and they used that against him. They lied, kind of softened it up, like not much was going to happen to him.
what do you mean he pled? Tell me about that. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he pled, man. He made a plea because it was heavy, right? He's the busiest protester you've ever seen, right? And most of it he does on his own, right? And it was just too much. And when he was doing it originally, he was homeless and solo.
What was he facing that he thought 12 years was?
Well, no, he thought he was going to get maybe they were going to give him 4 years, right? That's what he thought, right? But then he had so many, and then it had become violations of probation and so on and so forth, right? And they were trying to get him for everything. He had messed up a felony diversion and things like that. So, but again, all for words, and his life had changed, right? He didn't care. He didn't have anything going for him, in the sense that he had nothing to lose whatsoever, right? I mean, if you're on the streets, you got nothing to lose. All you have is this great brain and.
Yeah, I don't know how he operated that way.
Right, and well, it's just who he is, right? Like now he's in prison, and the things that he's doing in prison, none of us would do, right? We don't have
It's almost an upgrade from being homeless on the streets.
I mean, but he's just he was hand drawing maps for his home, right? I'm talking about with mathematical equations all throughout, right? North, south, scaling, right? He sent a special ruler with it so that you can use it to scale from real size to what he did on paper, right? So on and so forth, right? It's ridiculous. He wrote the rules for his class, where he's at in prison. He's got a perfect record in there. He's helped I don't know how many people with their legal battles, right?
Where is he at?
He is right now at the Trinidad, the Trinidad Correctional Facility, right?
That's
He
in
is,
Colorado.
yeah. He's finishing his class, and from here they're going to probably move him to what they call a camp. It's a prison with no fences or nothing.
What kind of class?
He takes several classes, right? These classes give him good time, and the class that he does is called Mamba, and that's one of the classes he attends, and he actually runs. Right?
Mamba? Like dancing?
Mamba, like the snake, right? Yeah, the dancing would be mambo, right? But like the black mamba snake, right? And what it is it's a class which teaches prisoners how to basically act accordingly when they get out, right? So that you can be able to mesh with society again and be able to get a job and all these kind of things, right? Have conversations and so you get that prison mentality thing out, right? And you go out as a regularly functioning member of society.
Have you been to see it at all?
I can't. I have
Lot?
I got legal issues going on, so they're so strict, right? But I mean, I don't really have to because I talk to him almost every single day,
Do you really?
Yeah, almost every single
Wow.
day. I'm his power of attorney. I'm legally his power of attorney, right? We had it done through attorneys, and I run
Beautiful.
all of his stuff. I run all of his bank accounts. I run his property, right? And then me and John will just make sure they're watching everything. Rusty, you know,
Do you think he's gonna do all 12 years?
no, no. Like I said, he's probably. It was mentioned that when he got to that prison, the person that took him in had worked at that prison for like 20 something years. They said they've never seen anybody come in with a score as low as his, right? So
Or as far as what?
as being a prisoner, right? You got a certain score, right? And he was like a -6, which means that you've never had a fight, you don't have a gang background, you don't have a violence background, you know what I mean? You've never broken a rule, nothing, right? Like
Where's the
anything,
score located?
huh?
Where do you see the score at?
Every prisoner has it. It's how they grade them by what cells they're gonna be in, what prison they'd be in, what
Oh,
what
okay.
what programs they can get, right? It would be your social,
Credit score.
yeah, it's like your social credit score in there, right? And he's already eligible, I think within like 9 months or so, 10 months for halfway house.
Oh,
And,
good.
and like I said, he's about to be moved. They were going to move him this week, but he appealed it because it would have ruined his classes, right? He's had 4 classes cut, and not by his own fault, but 3 of them were working towards his good time. So it does hurt him, right? So he appealed it and griped about it a little bit, and so they kept him there so he can finish his classes before he gets moved. And then, like I said, when they move him now, they're going to move him to a prison that has no fences, right? That's total honor system, right? So, from there, all he's got is, halfway house. But like I said, he's such a perfectionist with rules and all that, and knowing them, he'll memorize them within the first week. And
So he'll just be on probation for a while then, basically.
yeah, he'll be at a halfway house, which means that it's all their rules, right?
In other
You know,
words, he's got curfew and rules of the house he's got to
right,
follow.
correct,
But
right,
he's not in a prison anymore.
correct. But I mean, like the one that he's at now, he can receive Amazon orders, books.
Really?
He wears civilian clothing. They don't wear a prison uniform. They can order clothes and stuff. They wear belts, things like that inside the jail. They have pizza parties and things like that, right? So it's a little bit more human. Uh, Not a lot of hardcores there or anything. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much it, right? He's only had one problem, and that was with the law librarianist. She wanted to be a Karen, know-it-all, can't understand normal thinker, and he's suing her. He's
Very
suing.
good.
Oh yeah. He's already filed the intent to sue to her, and he's also starting to write it out because it's the only negative cron he's had in prison. She gave it to him. The negative cron was that list of rights or wrongs that I'm talking about, right?
What,
Uh,
what was her complaint against him?
he didn't listen, that he wasn't. But this is a chick that would write you up for asking for paper or a pencil. You know what I'm saying? It's those people that work in a jail because they enjoy just being not so nice people, right? They just enjoy that power. They enjoy the shut up and don't you even look at me crazy, right? Because you're not even allowed to look crazy, right?
Yeah, you
So,
become subhuman, basically.
oh yeah, it's like, man, you can't even be pissed. You can't even flare nothing, right? Like you got to be like, thank
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
thank you, So, yeah, he's doing real well, and we still have one, two. I think I got 3 of them with him, and he's got a few more of his own that are, yeah,
Court
they,
stuff.
yeah, federal lawsuits, Title 42, Section 1983s. I have 2 of them with him now that we're about to. I established a company. I finally found a company that wants to deal with pro se litigants to do depositions and things. So we just acquired them. I just got the subpoenas to subpoena them for a deposition today from the mail, federal court. So we'll be doing depositions here shortly, next month or so, on one of
Great.
them. Yeah.
So Eric basically be out of jail within a year or so, year or two maybe.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's great, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm assuming he's not gonna. Are you doing anything on your channel lately?
Not
Staying
late.
low with that.
Not lately. I've got a lot of things coming up for sure, though. I will be putting up some videos that I took not too long ago here. I've been given a pretty cool opportunity. I don't want to give too much information on it yet because it's still kind of fresh, right? But I keep it kind of vague. I've been approached by a very high-standing law enforcement official. They've come to me looking for me and asking if I would like to help and make some kind of curriculum or a training to be able to teach the local law enforcement department here and even a Tri-County area on the right to film police and how they should act, right? Because a lot of times, well, I believe that from what I've been learning from talking with him and what's going on, right, is that, it's not as much, right? They don't know how to handle it. The cops don't know how to deal with it, and they're only taught to be scared, right? So, they're taught that everybody's going to kill them, right?
And they control everybody.
And yeah, to control everybody, right? And I was like, bro, and it's so easy to not have a problem with an auditor. You know what I mean? But you guys just don't. It's so simple,
Yeah.
And then if you did it that way, it'd be a boring video, and they probably wouldn't record you after that, right? It's
Tell everybody, if you ignore them, they're just walking around a building wasting their time.
correct, And then I said, and it saves you guys a lot of
Control
hassles.
themselves, though.
And I was telling them, and you guys are making a mistake. You guys are asking, oh, so where'd you get your your law license on YouTube, right? And I was like, little do you know that jerk off just might know more law about what he's doing than you do know about even the training as a police officer, right?
It's
And-
written in English, dude.
Yeah, and it's not that hard to get along. And I think this is a pretty serious opportunity. I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt in a sense, but if he came to me openly, because they're looking for something positive to be able to have a decent interaction and do the right thing, right? Because he keeps mentioning that he would like to honor the Constitution and the people that he serves, right? So it's not many, you ought to know, John, that not a whole lot of law enforcement officers talk like that. So, if one comes to you like that, I said, well, I guess I can give him the benefit of the doubt, see how this works out. So,
Undersheriff too, right?
yeah, he's the undersheriff, and he's going to be talking to the sheriff, and then he wants to be able to see if he can do this as a tri-county thing. So, oh, the Lord, as far as his power can reach is what he wants to do, in return.
So that's great. I think you should take that opportunity and give the best speech you can, blah, blah, blah. Just, you remember my advice was, tell a cop, how do you feel when you go to a 4-star restaurant? How do you feel? You're paying these people, you're getting the absolute best service. You could call them the C word, and they'll be like, yes, sir, excuse me, I'm sorry about my behavior.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to go that far.
Right.
But we're paying them involuntarily, and we're getting abuse on top of it. That's the problem.
Well, I told him that the only way I do it is if he lets me video. I
Right,
got
right.
It's what I do. So I want to make sure that.
And that's the whole point. Calm down if there's a camera. And if there, what are you doing that you're so scared of camera?
Right. No,
What are you
and
saying? How are you behaving when the camera's off that you're that scared of a camera? I don't get that.
we're starting to pack the courts, buddy. This is becoming more. We're starting to pack the courts, right? There's a lot of people doing this, right? Since it began, and we're taking it. A lot of people are taking it, and a lot of law firms and everything, right, have totally seen this as a whole other opportunity and specialty for them.
I
Right.
hope so. 'Cause
These auditors, right?
we need
'cause they-
contingency lawyers for this stuff.
Yes, and that's why I say, if you make a very good video, right, keep that cussing to a minimum to none, right, then you can package up your incident and you can offer it to any attorney, right, and they'll be like, my guy might be able to work with this. You see what I'm saying? And once you find one, what happens is that usually you'll find one that says, hey, I'll go for this, and once he's done it, he goes, oh, I got to do more of these.
Yeah.
oh, this is good. You got more friends like this? I mean, you got any more of these? And you're like, yeah, I've got an ass load of these, right? So, more than you can
That
handle,
would definitely change things in the police force.
right? Right. But we gotta give them a product that they can work with.
Right on, my brother.
You know.
So, we did about an hour, minus the technical difficulties.
Right.
So, in closing, Liberty Freak is your YouTube channel, right?
Yep. Liberty Freak TV. I'm using Liberty Freak TV News now. My channel with all my people, they just wouldn't monetize me. They kept hammering me, and my algorithm went to zero.
What
So
channel should we go to now?
Liberty Freak TV News.
Liberty Freak TV News
Mm-hmm.
YouTube channel.
Yep.
And
The-
what
the-
else? The other social media?
There's a picture of my friend's son as an avatar, and he's holding a sign that says, "What is it? We all deserve human rights," or something like that. And yeah, so it's got a better algorithm and all that kind of stuff. And I have one video on there, which is my biggest video, which has almost 800,000 views, which is not much, but to me it's like a big deal. And
It's not easy to do that.
and so yeah, I'll be posting on that.
Any other platforms you talk on?
No, I'm gonna start doing one, I guess, that has nothing to do with this, in the long run. It's
Why
about
you hanging
my
out with Joe Cool? What's wrong with you?
van living and stuff. With Joe Cool, that's my buddy. He visits. He comes from all over he comes from Chicago. He goes all over the place, man. That's one traveling auditor right there.
How far away is Chicago from where you're at?
Man, it's like 15 hours, I think, something like that. 14 hours.
Just go over real quick. How's that?
Huh?
I said he just popped in.
He just pops in, yeah, pops out.
Liberty Freak TV News.
Yep.
Liberty Freak TV News.
Yeah, who knows? I might change it. You know what I'm saying? To back to Liberty Freak TV, but that's the one that I'm using, right? And like I said, I'm gonna start doing a van one, right? My other channel is Fantastic Lifestyle.
Fantastic Lifestyle.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, and so I'm enjoying it. I've been off the grid for a while, and I've been away from the show because just taking care of
How you like it?
Eric and stuff. Huh? How do I like what?
Great.
I like it. Now, thanks to police brutality, I have a much nicer rig. Like I said, I've got a split system AC unit that I'm installing that's made for homes, right? The latest in technology. I can run that AC system right off my solar. I don't need to plug in at all now. So.
What are you doing on a daily? Just kind of making
yeah.
all your ducks are in a row legally, and then.
Yeah, and healing from the heart attack. I had a heart attack last year.
Oh, did you really? I'm sorry to
Yeah.
hear that.
It's all right. And then I had 5 stents put in my heart, and and they have me on blood thinners. And like if I bump into something, man, it looks like I had a car wreck. You know what I'm saying? Like I can bump into something everywhere. Anytime you look at everywhere, I bump into anything and you can see bruises and stuff, right? It's because I
What is that?
blood thinners.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah, so I've kind of had to been like I feel like I'm in a padded life. can't do much. So just doing things around here. Keeping up with my lawsuits. I just got over a lawsuit. I settled the lawsuit just a couple months ago. Right, it was over this certificate issue that sent me to jail, and that was a lot of practice. And just keeping up with the lawsuits that I have now and the depositions coming up and keeping up with Eric and all these things have kept me off the computer. And also I backed off a little bit because it was too much pressure from the law for a little bit.
yeah, dude. I get the slightest case, I'm all anxious about everything.
Oh man, I had so many cases, right? It was like
Oh,
I don't know. And Eric's had 30 plus at one time, right? Eric would have like 36 cases at one time rolling. I'm like, how, man? How can you do it? I can't. This is.
you and I did you see the thumbnail for this video?
No.
I think it's a picture of me in a tie and a picture of you like with all your gear on, and it's a thumbnail from a video that you and I have done before where I did an interview with you.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
don't even remember that.
I do. I do. I felt silly with it. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing. That was a phone interview.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's when I started. That's when I started getting into it, and I started getting popular and all that. Uh, yeah, it was different to me, right? It went from very quiet and very boring life to all of a sudden it was like all these people and people helping me, and it was awesome, right? I'll
It's
never.
humbling.
It was amazing, when we try to come up with a $10,000 once and then $20,000 for Eric those two times, and everybody came through, bro. That was what an amazing experience that was.
Just
Uh,
went through it.
you know what?
I might still be sitting in the cell if subscribers didn't bail me out.
Yeah, I mean, like everything they've taken, they've saved my vehicle when it got towed away. Man, I can't, there's just a list, right? It totally changed my life. It just totally changed my life, and activism became a pretty important thing in my life, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
then and then I made case law, and I was like pretty
Oh,
happy, right?
what's the name of your case law?
Irizarry versus Yahia.
Say it
Yahia.
again.
Irizarry versus Yahia.
Irizarry versus Yahia. Yahia is the
Yeah,
cop, right?
yeah,
Irizarry is you.
yeah.
And that's the one that kind
Uh,
of drove at you and stood in front of you and blinding you, right?
mhm, mhm. And Eric sued him on his own, and I sued him on my own. And
So tell me
Eric,
what. So what does this case law say?
it established the right here, even though they had passed policies, and even though the law in Colorado says that you had the right to record police. You know how qualified immunity works is that there has to be a prior case similar to yours, which has established, this rule or whatever, so to be able to overcome qualified immunity. And though everybody thought it was already a thing, it wasn't. And I had already lost one, two. I lost two prior um, court lawsuits in federal court over this question, right? One against Aurora and one against Morgan County Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Crone. Since it was not established, it was thrown out. It was dismissed. So finally, I did the Yahia, and then this one it was thrown out, but it was because of the way the judge had dismissed it, like her verbiage. She kind of basically said, though we think that it should be established, it actually hasn't, and though it's common knowledge, everybody like feels that it should be, it wasn't. So I must dismiss this case, right? It hadn't been established. So then she did, and then I got a phone call from a university here, the Denver University Law Practicum, and they wanted to write my appeal brief. And then I got another phone call from an attorney's office called Arnold and Porter, which I didn't know at the time was like some big wig attorneys firm, right, international, and kind of like private version of the ACLU.
Mhm.
And they took my case pro bono, and they took it all the way up to the Supreme Court here, and they took my appeal. And then I also had briefs written by, and I can't remember all their names now. The Electronic something or other, Police Accountability Project. All these people wrote briefs, 5 different people, including the Department of Justice of the United States of America. And the Department of Justice actually spoke at the oral arguments at the Supreme Court on my behalf.
Colorado, right? This
Yep.
is Colorado Supreme Court.
Yep. Friends in Code did a cool animated video of the oral arguments.
Who
Right.
did?
Friends in Code.
Is that a
What?
channel?
Yes, all one word. He's the super computer genius nerd friend of mine. I love you, Chris. This guy is fantastic, and they made him and Otto. They made an illustrated kind of thingy about the oral arguments in federal court. It was great, and it was great because we were.
Sorry versus Yahia says what? That
Oh, it says that now we have the right to record police, right? It's official, right? It stated that 6 other jurisdictions had already done it, and it's already been, though it hasn't been established here. There's so much case law established in other superior courts, right, that it should have weight, and it did, right? And now,
For example,
before your Irizarry versus Yahia, it was an established law that you could record the police.
correct. In this jurisdiction, you know, like you know how people quote Glick, right? And they quote Glick versus Kniffy, right? And they quote what's the name of the dude from the Potosi?
What about Smith v. Cummins?
Smith v. Cummins, they quote that one, right? They quote the guy from the Potosi, right? I forgot his name now. Turner versus Driver, right? But each one of those is in a different district. You see?
Oh, you're saying it in the district you were in.
Correct. Which is
established case law that said you can record the police.
Not district, it's called the circuit, right? So I'm in the 10th circuit. Like Smith v. Cumming is either the 11th or the 1st circuit. Yeah, see the 11th circuit, right?
Which is like several different states or what?
I'm in the 10th circuit, which includes Colorado, Oklahoma, Utah, certain parts of Yellowstone.
So in that circuit, Irizarry versus Yahia establishes the right to record police.
Yeah, and some have certain details of it which are stronger than others, right? In mine, they made scowling a thing, right? Like, you know, scowling, just looking mean and intimidating to keep me from recording. That's a suable offense. Yeah, that's right, baby. No, not even a little bit.
You could sue them if they scowl you. Like,
you know, if they're like, you know, and you got three dudes standing around you looking all crazy, right? Yeah, that's an intimidation because when they're scowling you, he's got guns, right? Yeah, he's got all kinds of weapons, right? So yeah, and it's funny because in that case, Eric actually got a criminal case off of that incident because he shined his flashlight in the cop's eyes.
You got a criminal case?
Yeah, and he lost.
Shining a light in the cop's eyes? Did you win that one?
Yeah, but bro, no, he lost it. But bro,
what?
His flashlight, right, was like ridiculous, right? When you hit it, it was brighter than the spotlight on their car, right? Okay. So it was crazy, right? And he was actually like in their face and he going, you know, on purpose, right? He was like being super Eric, right? So, and then on top of that, he blew up on them, you know. So basically what they do with us is they use some kind of blow up of something, no matter if it's their fault or mine, right? And then they just say, because he's angry and yelling, that's scary to the 12 guys with guns, right? You know, we had no idea if he was armed, that's what they would say, and he's wearing like soft basketball shorts.
It's like, tell him I'm unarmed as soon as I get there.
It's like, yeah, but you pack. Because I think there's another video where you said that you're packing it. Am I wrong?
I pack. I might not pack.
Yeah, I know there's another video where you're like, hey, just to know.
You know, when I got pinched a couple of weeks ago, I had a pistol on me, and the new law passed in Florida saying you can conceal carry without a license anymore.
Nice. Yeah.
But this cop spent about 25 minutes researching the new law because I didn't have my ID on me. And he's like, I'm gonna use my discretion and not charge you the $25 fee.
$25 fee? For what?
Like the fine, excuse me.
Oh yeah, the fine, yeah. Oh, whatever.
Oh, thanks, man. You're only making a false arrest against me right now, but thanks for not adding a $25 fine.
Yeah. Oh, you know my favorite charge is, I'm not gonna charge you for anything else but resisting arrest. I got one of those in Texas.
Basically what I got, resisting an officer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, resisting for what? What were you arresting him for? What was he resisting? You know, why was he arrested in the first place?
Trying to stay off orders from a guy. You know, the lawyer said shut up about my case. So
yeah, but you know, how can you? I've had that charge. You know, I've had that charge, and I got charged with evading and eluding because I said, "Am I being detained or am I free to go?" And they don't answer, and I'm like, and after you've asked it 10 times, you're like, "Okay, since I don't have an answer, I'm free to go."
Exactly. So, you have no reason to believe you're detained. Why would you even think you're detained after 10 times?
and I turned around and it was dog pile on the dog pile on the protester, right? They dog piled on me and said that I was evading and
Oh my
eluding.
God. I
Yeah, I
hope
was
you
like,
won that.
no, I didn't. Back then, I didn't know. I was in Texas then, right? I had no idea what I was doing. I actually pled to it because I just wanted to be over.
That is so deflating sometimes, man.
Yeah. So many
All
of
right,
them.
I gotta eat, man.
Hey,
And
man. Thanks
I
for having me on the show.
dude, I've been watching you since the beginning. You, Eric, Regan. I got to meet Regan in person. Everything was what you guys do is amazing. You guys
Thank you,
had
man.
the biggest nuts I've ever seen back in the day, and
Thank
I
you,
was
man.
glued to my phone, computer screen. You know, I loved it, and I'm glad you're still going and doing your thing. And again, people say compliment me, but you guys are the ones doing. You guys are where the rubber meets the road, not me, man. I just run my mouth and you know turn the fan on nice and cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Being grown,
I've followed you for a long time, bro. I've been watching your channel since before I did activism. So
I can't
uh,
thank
it,
you enough, man.
it's an honor to be here on your show, man. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Anything
It's,
in closing?
it's very cool. No, I guess I'll just we'll share a steak one day when I go by Florida.
Yes, please call
You know,
me if you're ever in Central Florida area. Call me. We'll
yeah,
meet up
absolutely,
and have a
absolutely,
brewski or a Pepsi or a top
yeah,
shelf Diet Coke.
absolutely.
Thank
Thank you,
you so
man.
much for coming on, man. We'll do this
Yep,
again, of course.
and thank all you guys for coming on the show, huh? You guys be
Yeah.
blessed.
Thank you,
Peace
man.
out. Yeah, man.
See
I'm
you.
out of here.
All right. How's that for a live stream? I'm not going back and reading all this. Someone dropped me $20 for some reason. I guess there was some drama. I was really trying to pay attention to the guy. Thank you, Wolverine Transparency. And I guess there's some drama for my mama in the thingy here. I don't know, man. Chili, what's up, bro? Steve, what's up? SWE, Mikey B, what up? Poor Dirt Farm, there it is. We will all We will unite the 1A community one way or another. Trolls to keep trolling, but you're not going to do it on my watch in this chat. I'm not going to let nobody disrespect nobody, let alone continue bully and harass. Who's bullying and harassing? Who's doing that? Uh yeah, the microphone. I didn't think for him to just push it away. Thanks, Wolverine Transparency. Thanks everybody for coming. Much love, peace, tranquility. Can't thank you enough. People who donated to my legal defense, thank you so much. You can still do that if you'd like down below, $5-10. Liberty Freaks and OG. It's good that Eric's gonna get out of jail with his prisoner score of -6. I've learned so much, my head's hurting a little bit. And yeah, we good guys? Much love. Thanks for coming. Jerry Singleton. What's up, dude? Gray dude, what's up? Good talking to you on the phone, man, that one day. Hand pink waving. Thanks, everyone. Please share and all that good stuff. I'm about to have some scrape. Just some scrimp and some cream spinach. Thank you. Bye.